We're here to discuss our catalyst, Becoming Edgy, which is basically asking if the industry is ready for the hyperscaling of edge clouds. This project is jointly worked on by AIS, Airtel, Globe, Telkomsel, KDDI, and Singtel as champions. And then we have participants like Ericsson, HPE, VMware, Infosys, and Intel. So this project talks about how do we have a consistent way of automating the lifecycle management of the workloads at the edge, and of course the ability to scale. So we have started to categorize the edge implementation approaches to three different categories like fog, MEC, or cloudlet. Cloudlet talks about having a data center in a box, which is the closest to the edge devices. And we have, secondly, the MEC, which is being standardized by EDGY. And it is basically putting the applications in the radio access network. And lastly, the fog is anywhere between the central DC and the edge device, which is kind of heterogeneous. So what we have done here in this catalyst is to have provided the principles on the selection framework, because different use cases have different requirements, such as context awareness, latency, and access medium. So we're not saying that there's only one implementation approach for these use cases, but rather depends on the requirements of those use cases. We will map it to the characteristics of each of the implementation approach. So this framework will help the service providers to identify which is the best approach on having the edge being implemented. For the reference architecture, basically we're saying that there are two types. We have the centralized lifecycle management, wherein the central DC is directly managing the application workloads at the edge. And this is typically applicable to the cloudlet type of implementation. While for some use cases, we can use the decentralized lifecycle management, wherein the NFVO will be delegating the management to the VIMs of the edge clouds. To talk about the use cases, here's Praveen from Infosys. Praveen.
Thank you. So as part of this catalyst, so we have developed total 5 use cases. So this is basically to demonstrate the various edge implementation and automating the application onboarding to the various edge sites, and how CSP can command sell this as a bundle offer in edge marketplace. So we are using, so from a technology perspective, right? So we are using a lot of open source components from different partners. So from an orchestration perspective, we are using open source Mano, which will onboard the VNF, and it will do the end-to-end orchestration. And from the edge implementation, we are using VMware NSX as a complete platform to host various edge applications. And we are also leveraging the Intel openness platform as an MAC edge platform to host various edge applications. So to talk about the entire service journey, right? So the CSPs will expose all the services through the Edge Marketplace. So an enterprise user can come to this Edge Marketplace portal and can buy various Edge application services. So that order process flow will go to the orchestration platform, which will basically talk to the different NFVI platform to onboard this application to the Edge platform. So that is a high-level flow, and I'll give to Jeff to talk about the various challenges and learning.
So for this catalyst, we have identified key learnings which would be very helpful for the adoption and having a strategy for edge computing. So number one is different edge applications are currently not being developed to be scalable. So there are standalone solutions that are not exposing APIs for easy integration. So we call the application developers and ISVs to start looking at things holistically, to incorporate the lifecycle management aspect in their application development. The second one is there's no consistency in which these solutions are being developed. So we would like to recommend that there should be a consistent manner on how these applications are developed by using common platforms to expose services at the edge. The third one is that the GPUs are not designed for are designed for desktop PCs and full form factors only, no? And currently, it's not being designed for edge servers. So we would like to recommend for the hardware manufacturers to start designing also GPUs fit for the edge servers, and which conforms to the standard interfaces. And lastly, with lots of open source projects, they have differences in terms of their scope and characteristics. So with more collaboration and collaboration among these projects, we will be able to have mass adoption of the edge computing.